Stefano Alisi. He was born in Rome on May 1, 1964. After attending classical studies, he graduated in philosophy. But since he was young, he cultivated a deep passion for the history of art. With a particular interest in Italian art of the 14th and 15th centuries, the Flemish masters of the Golden Age and the avant-gardes of the early 20th century. This passion for art materializes over time in a practical commitment, starting to try his hand at producing works with the use of different artistic techniques. In recent years, Stefano Alisi has focused his attention mainly on watercolor and oil painting, continuing to explore and develop new forms of visual expression. His art is deeply linked to nature, which is one of his main sources of inspiration. His artistic research is based on the desire to explore the mysterious relationship between man and objects, between the visible and the invisible. A theme that often finds expression in a visual language in which landscape and still life intertwine in a complex, but also ironic and light-hearted synthesis. Stefano Alisi's works are distinguished by a strong evocative capacity, in which each scene, be it a landscape or a still life, becomes a profound reflection on the human condition and on the relationship that the individual has with the world around him. The artist manages to transform everyday life into something extraordinary, giving life to compositions that reveal the beauty hidden in small things, but also question the viewer on the deeper meanings of reality. Through his art, Alisi manages to create a dialogue between the past and the present, between pictorial tradition and innovation, carrying forward a language that is at the same time rich in history and deeply contemporary. Miracle in the Square. A chain of favorable celestial events sends a young woman dressed in poppies and with golden ears of corn for hair to an Italian square while she plays the cello. The scene reminds us of what is worth living for. The intensity with which we face childhood games, eros. It is still a woman covered by her instrument, the observation of nature. The dog looks at us and invites us to enter this magical square. Getting lost and then finding yourself again. In the life journey of each of us, we feel the need to rediscover, after a long wandering, the memories, places, experiences of our childhood. The snail represents this long journey that has as its destiny the inexorable return home. Franciscan Balance. A village on a cliff hanging between the sky and the sea. Grezio. The site of Francis's first nativity scene finds balance in nature, even if it has the threatening appearance of a bird of prey and a monstrous fish.
I miei quadri con Pinocchio. Come mi è venuto in mente di dipingere questi pinocchi? Osservando una radice di faggio che avevo scortecciato tempo prima, un'illuminazione. Si è presentato alla mia mente il seguente schema: una testa di Pinocchio presa di profilo, con un lungo naso sul quale si dipana una specie di still life che sappia raccontare una storia. Alla mia memoria si sono presentate le immagini del Pinocchio di Comencini, come quello di Walt Disney, ma poi ho voluto rileggere il Pinocchio di Collodi. A pochi euro ho acquistato la copia anastatica di Le avventure di Pinocchio, così come uscì in prima edizione. Che sorpresa! Ad ogni pagina un'avventura diversa. E per questo motivo con le mie opere voglio dare ancora vita a Pinocchio, realizzando per lui nuove avventure, con animali e oggetti. Il mio Pinocchio ha voglia di giocare, di scoprire il mondo, con ironia e un po' di nostalgia di un tempo che non tornerà più, il tempo dell'infanzia, della curiosità, del gioco.
Anna Rita Mattei was born in Terracina, in the province of Latina, on January 31, 1957. From a very young age, she developed a strong passion for art in all its forms, from music to poetry to painting. In 1976, she graduated in piano with excellent grades at the Conservatory of San Pietro Armaiella in Naples, and began a brief career as a pianist and accompanist at the Conservatory of Santa Cecilia in Rome. However, despite her musical commitment, she never abandoned her passion for painting and poetry. During her career, Anna Rita Mattei also devoted herself to school teaching, winning a competition that led her to work in the education sector. Painting and poetry, however, continue to be her true vocation. Her works, especially portraits of women, are the means through which the artist expresses messages of spiritual beauty, strength, rebirth, purity and charm. The female figures in her canvases are not only aesthetic subjects, but symbols of emotions and profound meanings that tell stories of resilience and grace. A significant moment in her career is the commission of a painting with the author's portrait for the poetry collection, La Lacrima del Porta Ferris il Cuore, by the writer and poet Rocco Giuseppe Tassone. Later, the writer Francesco Antonio Solano also chose a work by Anna Rita Mattei, entitled Country Living, as the cover for his book, Terra di Calabria, in which the artist is also present with various other works. Anna Rita Mattei's works continue to tell a profound and refined vision of the female universe, treated with great sensitivity and ability for emotional interpretation. Her art is a journey to discover the beauty that lives in the human soul, and that is reflected in the grace of her figures, in which light, form and color intertwine to tell timeless stories.
Greetings to everyone present. My name is Beatrice Mate, and I'm happy to be here, even if only virtually, and to have the opportunity to share something about my artistic work. For this, I would like to thank the Phoebus Association, which made this possible. I've been involved in art for a long time. Throughout my artistic journey, I've alternated between figuration and abstraction, seeking a form of contamination between these two modes of expression. Currently, I work using photographic matrices, mainly faces, which I elaborate and apply onto canvas. I then intervene with painting, using acrylics and enamels. Quick brushstrokes, drips, and other effects create an informal context in which the image merges seamlessly. As you can see, mine is not a chromatic painting style. Instead, it plays on the tones of just one or two colors. This is a personal preference, likely shaped by my love for black and white photography. Finally, I intervene with cursive writing, bands of text that cross the gaze or the mouth, or flow partially across the face. These are phrases I found in books or poetic texts that deal with existential themes, and which I find highly evocative. The writing is only partially legible. Why female faces? Through the face, I like to explore the human universe and its inner world, and I find it easier to do so from a feminine perspective. With all due respect to the male gender, I believe that women, by nature, possess an innate ability to read emotions, a skill likely acquired through millennia of caregiving, which they have offered and continue to offer. Women are endowed with what is called emotional intelligence, which makes them highly intuitive. Being equipped in this way is especially important in today's world, where everything moves so fast, constantly pushing us to change direction. Events and images pile up endlessly. I believe all of this creates in us an urgent need for peace and silence, a need to search for what the great singer-songwriter Franco Battiato, whom I deeply admire, called the permanent center of gravity. Only when we are centered and at peace can we hope to be at the helm of our own destiny, rather than overwhelmed by it and simply swept along. I'm also reminded of a very evocative quote by Anais Nin. We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are. With these words, she emphasizes the importance of understanding who we are, so that we can better interpret the reality around us and how it affects us. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Warm regards, Beatrice Mate.
Love. You enter love with your eyes closed. It's been like this since the dawn of time. Is it a leap into the dark or into the light? Like a pink cloud, the feeling envelops us, caresses us with sweetness hoped for, longed for. The different muse she stands there, as if enchanted by a distant memory. The pose is relaxed, a little romantic and very sensual. But she still doesn't know towards whom she will blow that breath of hers, a source of inexhaustible inspiration. Journey into the mind, she has blue in her eyes and perhaps also a veil of oblivion with which she could fatally erase the memories of those who look at her. That's why her eyes are closed. But in closing them, a bit of that blue color has spread around her. Dissolving identity, the continuous metamorphosis to which we are forced by strange cosmic laws demanding obedience, modify our boundaries, both inside and outside us. And in this mocking swing of cyclical changes our identity assembles and then dissolves again. In the look, the solemn, yet soft expression in the look seems to reveal a secret to us. Don't expose it to the air and wind. It could get lost. It is written as if it were a tattoo on the shoulder line, and tells us that everything we feel is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. And that's how every thought flies. Minor stories, the gaze is partially erased by a shadow of dense thoughts. Perhaps she is enchanted or is thinking of new solutions to stories already past and to those to come. Alien paradigms here, between dream and reality, a presence emerges, still poorly defined, as if it were still to be shaped by some alien code. bearer of unknown paradigms. Strange signs and words surround his face, future temple of some new disturbing intelligence. Welcome, my name is Stefan Jaus, and I was born in Klagenfurt, Austria. I am self-taught and have been working with painting and sculpture for over a decade. After exhibitions in Italy and Austria, I am also invited to participate in this very interesting format of the Contemporary Art Tour 2025 in Italy. My paintings are from a cycle I painted for Richard Strauss's Alpine Symphony. The cycle was called In the Silence of Time. I created 2 exhibitions with this cycle in Austria and Italy. I would now like to use the words of my art critic Gianni Longo to describe my work in more detail. The oeuvre of every great artist is a universe of its own, in which facts, words, works, intentions, feelings, impulses, and fantasies constantly exchange with one another, so that each color resonates with the others, alternating and transforming into one another. Interpreting this universe doesn't mean simply revealing it and exposing it to the viewer's gaze, but rather revealing the countless layers it consists of. This is particularly evident in Stefan Jaus's paintings. Each of his paintings penetrates our reality in a fascinating way to reveal precisely that which eludes the comprehension of reason. In the crystal clear, magical space he creates, artistic creations emerge that teach us the meaning of life, prompt us to shed old clothes that constrain our souls, and lead us away from the withered steppe of our existence. With informal elegance or harmonious figurative art, Jaus expresses the lyrical, poignant atmosphere of a landscape in his paintings. In a song inspired by nature that gives us something invaluably new, a wealth of images of extraordinary existential richness. Thanks to his profound sensitivity, he remains anchored in lived experience, creating colorful surfaces that interpenetrate one another, overlap in images, merge in an extraordinary art, and carry with them small, lost existences. His paintings emerge in a kind of spiritual workshop, shaped by a life filled with sounds and noises, reflecting humanity and nature in all their facets. This is the space in which he works, the realm in which he spends his most intense days, and in which forms reveal themselves in a reduced spatiality, abstract and non-representational, while life continually slips through our fingers, disguises itself, and hides behind lies. Stefan Jaus's works are steeped in the fragrance and silence of their time. His art has an invisible clock, but it does not strike the hours, the minutes, or the cadences of our being. It is precisely in the stillness of time that he allows us to grasp the essence of a recovered life, far removed from the ruins of the present. Thanks to the organizers of Contemporary Art Tour and to Gianni Longo. I am Giuseppe Rizzo Schettino. I live and work in Florence, and I am the author of the paintings you are observing. For me, painting has been a passion since childhood. Over time, I have been fortunate to paint with great international masters, and to have exciting experiences that have allowed me to explore various painting techniques such as watercolor, oil, and acrylic. My curiosity and the desire to convey the pictorial gesture in a profound expressive synthesis has led me to a continuous and evolutionary research. The paintings that I present in this tour belong to the cycle of the form of water, technically executed with greater attention paid to the surface of the work itself. through the preliminary preparation of the canvas, with spatula-applied acrylic plaster. The chosen medium is the external stimulus that keeps me interested in experimentation. The accidental process of spreading the background on the canvas and the meticulous planning are mixed in all my works, and it is what always allows me to obtain a real or illusory consistency of the pictorial image that I compose. The works exhibited are part of a group of 18 pictorial works. A project that I developed for the illustration of the collection of poems by the poet Massimiliano Bianchi entitled Argo, Poetic Journey, second book, The Battle, published by Oedipus in 2020, which follows the first book, Odysseus, and precedes the third book, Euryclea, also illustrated by me. The 3 paintings that are exhibited in this tour are part of the group of Argo, packaged on some poems, technically homogeneous and dedicated to the reference lyrics.
Kaip linija prasideda nuo taško, taip ir
Just as a
piešinys
line begins with a
atsiranda
dot, a
nuo
drawing begins
žodžio
with a word
ir
and music.
muzikos.
If a
Jeigu
relationship is
žmoguje
established
vyksta
between music and
muzikos
words
ir
in a
žodžio
person,
santykis,
the person,
žmogus
having
patapęs
become an
instrumentu,
instrument,
tai
presents it as an image.
pateikia vaizdu. Kūryba tai yra šviesos dalelė, kuri gyvena
Creativity is a
mumyse,
particle of light
jeigu
that
mes
lives within us,
leidžiame jai
and if we
būti,
allow it to exist, it
jinai
is.
yra.
Opera soloist Laura Latvatite Zaman, based in Berlin and performing chamber music recitals on major stages around the world. Initiated the classical music festival Cultural Week, Kultūros Savaitė, in Lithuania in 2021, seeking to express the synthesis of sound and thought through visual means. Artist Aušrinė Dubauskienė created mixed media visuals for one of the chamber vocal instrumental concerts, titled Nature and Humanity, Gamtarāja žmogus. Can anything disrupt Ulahona's existence and reduce it to mere routine? Will the seductress Agwona, adorned in Baroque silk and lace, tempts us? Can a woman transform life into that cosmos? Yes, she is the water lily. In portraying a Madonna surrounded by cornflowers, hands folded in prayer, Aušrinė elevates the purest and most eternal of all, a mother's love for her child. Aušrinė Dubauskienė describes her musical visualizations as answers to questions yet unasked.
Žiūrim krinta patylomis, obelų so